Welcome to Gentle Restorative. My name is Sandra. Take a comfortable seat, close your eyes, give me a deep inhale, and a big exhale. Let's just kind of check in with ourselves for a moment. I've had a really tough day, so I need my yoga. Perhaps you're feeling grateful you're on your mat too. Let's take another deep inhale with the intention of exhaling the day. And then take the arms all the way up. Bring the palms together and exhale them home to your heart in prayer pose. We are pausing here to set our intention for our practice. And when you're ready, let go of the arms. Keeping your eyes closed, our focus on our breath. And then go ahead and inhale the arms back up. Release them to the heart. Left arm out in front, right arm behind you. So we're going to have to get that right shoulder to pull back a little bit, right? So just a little bit of a kind of an upper body twist, mostly with the shoulders. If you feel like you really want to rotate the ribs too, that's fine. I'm good with that. Stretch out through the fingers. Nice. Inhale, arms up, come back to center. And from here, we'll just exhale the arms in the reverse direction. So right arm out in front, left arm behind you. Decide how far the body's willing to turn. Hold it right there. And inhale, arms come up. Exhale, they release down alongside you. Draw the shoulders up. Take them back and down. Deep inhale. And loud exhale. Perfect. So let's go ahead and start out in table. So you all know that I like to tell a lot of stories, right? Usually they're Zen stories, or they're a Buddha story, or they're a Sufi story, and this one happens to fall into that latter category. So this is a Sufi story. Go ahead, find your cat-cow. And I've mentioned to you before that one of the probably the most famous characters in the Sufi stories, his name is Nasruddin, Mullah Nasruddin. And literally he is a character. He usually finds himself in goofy situations, and there's always a moral to the story. Go ahead, come back to a neutral spine. Really set that alignment, push the hands into the earth, close your eyes for a moment. Feel the tops of the feet touching the ground. And then we're going to tuck the toes. Take this to crouching dog, will you? So my knees are going to stay bent. I'm just going to push my ribs back toward my thighs. You can bounce around a little bit, get some movement here. Deepen the breath. And then come on back down onto the knees. And then rise up onto the knees. Inhale the arms. Let's exhale the arms down behind us, right at the sacrum. So fingers are facing up. Draw the shoulders down and back, shoulder blades together. Elbows are pulling in. And then I want you to pull the stomach in, hips forward, because what we don't want to happen is this huge arch in the spine, right? Not yet. Not yet. Sit up nice and tall. Now, head's going to slowly drop back, not too far. And then the upper shoulders. And that's all we're doing right here. Breathe. Come back to center, release the arms. Inhale them up. Exhale, as the arms come down in front of you, they're going to sweep back, and we're coming into kind of a hovering embryo pose. So I'm not going to settle. I'm just going to come down as far as I can, and then inhale all the way back up. Exhale, sweep the arms down. Inhale, take it up. All right, keep going. Slow this down. How long can you make that breath? Next time you're on the way down, go ahead and settle into embryo. If you need something underneath the forehead, go ahead and grab it. If embryo is too much on the knees, grab your blanket and put it right behind the knees, underneath the thighs. All right, so while you're hanging out there, there's the story of Nasruddin, who has lost his ring, and he lost it in the house in the living room, but he can't find it anywhere. And so he goes outside, and he's looking around outside, and his wife comes out, and she says, "What on earth are you doing out here in the dark?" And he's kind of under like a street lamp, and he says, "Well, I'm looking for my lost ring." And she says, "But you lost it in the house." And he said, "Yes, but it's too dark in the house. There's much more light out here where I'm looking." So as most of those stories go, you stop and go, well, that makes zero sense, right? But we'll get to the moral of that and what that story, how it could be interpreted. All right, we're coming up into table. So from here, I want you to look straight down at the hands. Spread the fingers out wide. And we're engaging something called hasta bandha, meaning a hand lock of sorts. And so I really want you to focus on the fingertips gripping, and then, just get a slight elevation underneath the very center of the palm of the hand. And so we're focused on how the hands feel, the sensations of the mat, our gentle grip on the earth. Okay, hanging on to that, shift your weight into the right leg, and let's send that left leg out behind us. And then, oops, sorry, we have a yogi making a special drop-in visit. Go ahead and open up. Okay, Anna, thanks. Open up the left hip, close it off. Open up. This is not a good view. Sorry, keep going with the hip. Anna's down here with me because it's raining outside and she can't tolerate being upstairs. I know, Anna. Open up the hip, keep going. Anna, you have to lay down. You have to be in Shavasana and then set that left knee down. Okay, that's enough. Send the right leg out behind you. Sorry about that. Hasta bandha with the hands. And then send the right leg out behind you while I text somebody upstairs to come get this dog. This is not dog yoga. Or opening that hip and closing it off. Okay. Taking it to child's pose. One more deep breath here. Now I want you to be really comfy in child's pose. So if you want to kind of reassess your position, if you want to grab some props and bring them over, if you want it to be more restorative, you can set that up. If you want to flip over onto your back because you're not a fan of child's pose, that's fine. I just want you to get really comfortable so we can settle in and kind of think about that story I told you. So the Sufi stories, they often drop off like that, just kind of leave you hanging. But the point of that story has to do with how often we externally search for answers, for our path, when truly all the answers are within. And then think about, well, how exactly do we get there from that story? Like, why is he looking outside? That's external, right? The house is internal. But I want you to think about it like this. Everything around me externally is in the light, right? The heart is in the dark. And so that's the point of the story. It's, everything that you're looking for that you think you've lost or you've misplaced is in the heart space. And so we go within to find that. All right, if you have your head turned in one direction, will you go ahead and turn it to the other? Another deep breath in. Let it go. Now we're slowly gonna come on up. If you did pull props over, let's scooch them out of the way for a moment. I promise we'll come right back to something restorative. But let's first come back into table, set the hand position. Okay, so I want to take my weight into the right hand. The left hand, I'm going to turn the fingers outward to the left. And let's just notice that. You might close your eyes and just kind of see what you think about that. And then, all of our bodies are going to be different, so don't worry if this doesn't work for you. Take the left hand and keep turning it. So we're turning it counterclockwise. See if you can get the fingers to face the left knee. So the whole hand went counterclockwise, right? The inner wrist is facing forward. And if your hand doesn't turn all the way like that, it's okay. And I don't want the wrist to be in pain either, so let's not force it. I'm just hoping to get like a gentle stretch going down the inner forearm. So send your breath there. And then let's slowly untwist that left hand and now flip it over so the top of the hand is on the mat. Fingers are facing that left knee again. Take this very gently as you softly add weight on top of that hand. Just a gentle stretch. Nice. And then go ahead and lift that hand, take it all the way up to the sky and just rotate the wrist. Nice. So as you bring this hand back down, carefully place it. I don't know, sometimes I feel like that's a lot on the wrist and my hand kind of needs to reacclimate to my weight there. All right, when you're ready, shift the weight into the left hand. The right hand is turning clockwise, so turn the fingers directly to the right. And then just settle in, close your eyes. And then we're going to continue that rotation. So keep turning so the fingers face you. I think I'm changing the theme of our story. I don't know if you can still hear Anna upstairs. She's pacing and whining. Maybe she needs to look within because she's not happy anywhere at the moment. Ever had one of those days? Like no matter what you seem to do, you just can't find your inner bliss? Poor Anna, she's lost her inner bliss. Okay, we're slowly gonna release that hand and then flip it over. Top of the hand on the mat, fingers are facing the right knee. Just very carefully add some weight here. And then when you're ready, let's take this right hand all the way up, circles with the wrist. And remember, as you set this hand back down, very tentatively, so you feel like, yeah, I can take the weight back into my hands. All good? Okay, push on back to embryo. Stay there for a couple of breaths, and then we'll set up another pose, and I'll give you another variation of that story. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and sit back onto your heels so we can see where our props are. If you have a bolster and 2 blocks, let's start there. If you do not have those items, hang on and we'll figure it all out, right? Okay, I want to set my blocks in front of me on my mat. They're at their medium height, they're horizontal, and they're spaced out because they are going to support my bolster right up on top. Okay, so if you don't have any of these props, grab a blanket. You know, it would work really well, like a big pillow, like back of a couch kind of pillow. You can put that down in front of you. So the blanket, I have some ideas for it, but I'm going to give you some options. You can do what you kind of want. Where we're heading is a supported, kind of a supported table pose. I want to get over this and then just go ahead and start to settle down. I want to make sure these blocks are going to hold. So they feel like they're not moving a little closer. And then from here, you can widen out the knees so you can really settle down here. Now, that blanket, we could use it on top of the low back for a gentle weight. If you feel like you need more on top of that bolster, you could add it there. And so while I'm sure this looks a little goofy, it really feels good. And once you get here, close your eyes. Follow the breath. So there is another variation of that story that I've come across before. It has a woman as the character, and I can't remember her name. It starts with an R. But she is outside under a street lamp, looking all over for something. And a bunch of neighbors and villagers come, and they're like, what on earth are you searching for? And she says that she's looking for her needle, if you can imagine. And so they're like, wait, what? Why would your needle be out here? And she goes, well, no, I lost it in the house, but I can't find it in there. It's too dark, so I came out here to look. Now, in that story, they're all kind of laughing at her by now, kind of making fun. And she turns and says something to them like, as much as I said to you about the moral of the first story, you know, how often have you gone looking outside when the answer is inside? So very similar story. Choose the one that resonates with you the most. All right. Well, I am assuming you do have your head turned to one side in this pose. So go ahead and turn it to the other. And then let's plant the hands on either side of that bolster. Go ahead, push your way up into table. So I need to back my legs up, and I'm going to push my blanket out of the way. And I think this would be a great place to do downward facing dog because we can make it a supported pose. So if you find your dog, then you can go ahead and rest your head right on that bolster. Again, if you're not using any props, don't worry about it. A regular downward facing dog is going to be fabulous. Give me 3 deep breaths here. And then we're slowly coming back down. Set the bolster aside and your blocks. Let's come all the way down onto the stomach. So from here, feel the tops of the feet on the ground. We're taking our hands behind us into Yoga Mudra, interlace the fingers, draw the shoulder blades in, and then let's just go ahead and lift the head and the shoulders. So push the hips down into the earth, breathe. You're smiling here, right? And slowly release the forehead to the earth. Relax. Next inhale, lift back up. Keep breathing. Exhale, forehead back down. Last one. Nice job. Exhale, untangle the fingers. Come on down. Turn your head to one side and let go. So it might be interesting for you to figure out. We were in child's pose, and I said, if you have your head turned one way, turn it the other. And then we were in that supported kind of table pose, and I said, you probably have your head turned one way, turn it to the other. Do you always turn your head to the same direction first? So go ahead right now and turn your head in the other direction, because I'm guessing that's the direction you don't enjoy quite as much. So we want to stay there. And then we'll bring the head back to center, plant the hands, push your way up into table, take your time. And let's come back to being seated on the mat. All right. Janu Shirshasana, left leg forward, right knee in. And then that knee's open to the side. I want to take my bolster and balance it up on top of my left leg. And when I put it up on my leg, I like to sit up really tall and then pull that bolster in. Just kind of feels like it's holding the ribs up. So I can slowly pour over the top. And here's where we might want something else. I think there's a block behind me. Something else to make this a little bit more fabulous for you, right? And just close your eyes. We're settling in right here. I want you to take your focus to the back. Allow that breath to move up the spine and exhale back down. And when you're ready, let's walk our way back up. I'm going to set my block aside. I'm not sure if you were using one or not. I'm going to take my bolster and bring it center between my legs. And then I want to pull the end that's closest to me up so I can kind of just hunch forward, right? Our first fold was over the left leg, and now we've moved to the space in which the torso is facing. So go ahead and set that up. Relax here. Relax that left foot. Okay, we're coming back up again. Take that bolster. This bolster's kind of traveling around us. I want you to bring it out behind you. So now this bolster is in line with my left leg. I'm going to keep my right leg tucked in. So this is going to be a supported supine tree, Vrksasana. So go ahead and slowly lay back. Now, if this is too much, arch for the back, you could take a blanket or a block, put that under your head so you're a little more elevated. If that doesn't quite do it for you, come back up, push this bolster about a fist width away from you, and then lay back, and that will feel more compassionate to the low back. Go back to the breath. I'm just going to pull my right knee up towards the ceiling, foot's flat on the mat. You might need to lift and realign the hips a little bit. And then let's go ahead and bend the left knee. So as I lift my head and shoulders, my hands are reaching forward to grab my knees. And then I'm just going to allow the chin to drop down. So there's this beautiful, gentle curve to the spine. It's a counter stretch, right, to the supported back bend we were just in. And then I'm really going to grip onto my knees so I can pull myself up. And we'll do the other side. So we need that bolster to come back around. Right leg is straight. Pull that left knee in and then let it open out to the side. Bolster right up on top. Remember, sit up tall and pull that bolster in. If you want something else on top, here's your opportunity to add it. And then go ahead and sit up really tall and just spill your ribs right over that bolster. Close your eyes, settle in. One more breath here. Gently come back up. Remember, then we took the bolster, we moved it more to center, grab the end closest to you, and find a way to get comfortable hanging out right here. Relax the right foot. And as we sit back up, we're taking that bolster, remember we're swinging it back around behind us. This is going to be our supported supine tree. And so remember, did you like the bolster right up against the sacrum? Did you like a little bit of space between? And then we slowly lay back. Close your eyes. I want this pose to be all about the breath. I want you to feel it moving through the body. And perhaps we use the analogy and kind of steal a little bit of that story in regards to, if you feel like you're missing something or you can't find your way, you're lost, you've lost something. And we are recognizing that the answer is within and that dark cavity that encapsulates the heart, but we're having trouble seeing it, perhaps. Use that breath, will you, to just clear space away. So the heart center opens up and, I don't know, maybe all of a sudden that answer just kind of pops into your head. Go ahead and pull the left knee up toward the ceiling, planting the foot, and then we'll add that right knee. And again, you might need to lift the hips to kind of shift and realign. I'm going to lift my head and shoulders, reach for the knees, and round out, dropping the chin. And then again, grab on so you can pull yourself up. And I'm thinking we'll do something fun with that bolster behind us. Well, the fun part's not that the bolster is behind us. The fun part is that if you end up tipping over, the bolster is behind you. I know I crack myself up sometimes. Okay, but I'm going to turn to face you. So we have those feet planted on the earth. We've done this before. Right arm underneath the right knee, left arm underneath the left knee. This might be enough. You might want to stay and hang out right here, or start to bring the feet together, wiggle them closer to you. And then you've got to sit up, right? So as I sit up, I'm kicking off from the earth and I'm finding a balance here. For you guys, that bolster's right behind you. So if you end up rolling backwards, it should catch you. Breathe up the length of that spine. Root chakra, very grounded. And then release the arms and bring the feet back down. Go ahead and embrace the knees, settle in for a moment. And since we're right here, we'll just add a twist. So sit up nice and tall. Left hand behind you. Look at those knees in front of you. Make sure they're together and they're both facing the ceiling. They're going to want to move. So that's where we want them to stay. The easy way to do that is to grab both of them with that right arm. Sit up. Take the twist to the left. If your twist needs more challenge, take the arm to the outside of the left knee. Now, what's typically going to happen is the knees are going to want to tip, right? Once I get that arm there, the knees want to go the other way. So we've got to push back into them, right? The arm can stay here, sit up tall, take that twist to the left. If you need just a little bit more, you can take the hand, the right hand, and bring the fingers down to the ground. Deepen the breath. And if you have to look back and see where your knees are, that's fair. If you need an extra challenge, turn the right hand toward the feet and see if you can grab onto that left ankle. Watch the knees, right? Oof, that's a hard one. Big inhale. Exhale. Unravel that. Woo. Inhale the arms up. Exhale to the heart. Right hand behind you. Left arm is grabbing the knees. Again, let's check them out. Make sure they're in the right alignment. Sit up tall. That can be your twist. Again, if you want more, arm comes to the outside of the right knee. Make sure they're staying in the same position. Option C would be to drop the fingers to the earth. Option D is to turn the hand and see if you can grab on to that right ankle. So pick the one that's right for you or the one you like best. And then slowly release. Shake that out. Relax the legs. Inhale the arms. Exhale to the heart. All right, let's find our strap. Go ahead and put a loop in it. And so if you don't have a strap, I'm going to give you a completely different pose because this will be a little challenging to do without one. You could still do this kind of with like a belt or a dog leash or something, but I'll show you where we're headed, and then I'm going to come back up and give you a different idea if you don't have any of those nearby. All right, let's go ahead and lay back. I want my strap, I'm just going to tuck it behind my neck for a moment. The buckle is where I can get to it. And then I've got the other part of my strap. I'm going to catch my right foot. Now, slowly extend that right leg just so that we can hang onto the strap. I want this part that's behind your neck to actually come up now behind the back of the skull. And you're either going to need to tighten this to hold the head and leg in place, or maybe it's perfect the way it was. So we want to get it where it feels like the leg and the head are holding each other up. The head is off the ground, and I'm going to go ahead and straighten out that left leg. So this feels awesome. Now, if you're all good, stay there. If you don't have a strap, but let's say you have a belt or a strap of a robe or something, you can bring the head down and you can just hold this right leg in place with your belt or your leash. You can pull a pillow over if you want. If you don't have anything nearby, that's okay. We have a couple other options. We can hold this leg in place by interlacing the hands, or if you really want to stay relaxed, then let's try something else, like maybe pull your pillow over or a blanket, just put it under your knees and get yourself in a comfortable restorative pose so that you don't have to work either. I'm heading back into the pose you guys are in. It's one of my favorites. And you know, the restorative poses are all about not working. But if you want to, I kind of like to sometimes push my head into the strap to get a little more stretch in the leg that it's holding. And then I let the leg push into the strap to lift the head and shoulders up a little more. So kind of creating a little vinyasa in this pose. Back to the breath. And then to switch legs, just grab the strap on both sides right near the head. And then we can bend the right knee as we pull the left foot in and just casually switch places, keeping in mind that the left leg might be tighter, might be looser. You might have to adjust that strap. if you haven't already tried it, you can push the head into the strap, get some more stretch, and then lift back up. So again, I'm going to grab both sides of the strap right near my head. I'm going to bend the left knee. Now don't take the left foot out yet. Pull the right foot back and add it to the strap. And now pull the strap off of your head. I'm going to set my head down on the mat. I'm going to straighten my legs up to the ceiling, and I'm hanging on to the other end, the other curve of the circle of my strap here. All right, flex the feet. Now I'm slowly going to lower. Let me say this first. I'm going to lower both legs. I'm going to hang onto that strap for dear life so I can help my legs out. I want you to pull the low back down. That has got to stay down. If you have low back issues, I would rather you not do it this way. You could put one foot down and then just bring one leg down. So, there goes my strap. It just came apart. So hang onto that strap, low back down. Slowly start to lower the legs. Let's be very conscious, because at any moment, if you feel an arch in your spine or this isn't working for you, I want you to get one foot out to support yourself. Keep pulling on that strap. Pull, pull, pull. That should make it a whole lot easier. And then, phew, legs make it to the earth. Now I'm just looking to hang on to that strap. I want the strap to keep my feet flexed. I'm just going to hold here for a moment. Deep inhale. As you exhale, let go of the strap, release the feet. Eyes are closed, following the breath. Like, what sensations do you feel going on? Doesn't your body just feel so happy to be flat down on the ground? Stay there for a little bit longer, and then I promise we will set up for Shavasana if you're not in the position you want to be in. Just staying there, engaging with the breath. So we kind of just allowed our legs to come down, and we let the feet relax where they were. If you're going to stay here for Shavasana, you might want to open the legs out just a little bit wider. Let the ankles fall open, right? Comfortable placement of the arms. If you want to sit up and grab your props, go right ahead. And as you begin to settle into your space and close your eyes, I want you to take your focus to the heart space, the heart chakra. And I want you to imagine that you can take your focus right into the center of that space. Yes, it's dark there, but it's warm, and it has this feeling of home to it, right? There's a familiarity there. And if you're not thrilled about the darkness, guess what? You can focus on your inner light that is also in that space. And let's set the intention that it is from this place that we ask our answers to come to us. If you have a specific issue going on, feel free to put that out to the universe before you drift away. And you never know what Shavasana will bring you. All right, you'll hear my voice when it's time to come back. And bring your focus back to your heart space. Notice if you felt like you heard, you saw, felt any answers that you might have asked for. Take note of everything. And then give me a deep inhale. Slow exhale. And invite some movement back into the hands and the feet. When you're ready, just keep your eyes closed. Just tip on over into a fetal position. And then when you're ready, rejoin me in any seated pose that makes you happy. And when you get here, just kind of move the shoulders around, maybe the head as well. And when you're ready, bring the head back to center. Deep inhale through the nose. Loud cleansing exhale. Inhale the arms up. And exhale the hands back home to the heart. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me, and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.